Hi, everybody. So, I have a word for you: gaslighting. Gaslighting. We hear it, I hear it frequently. And I read it frequently in news and commentators and social scientists and those who, critique our culture these days. I've never really understood it because I get caught up in the word itself, gaslight. And I think of the movie with Angela Lansbury, where I think she won her Academy Award, was in Gaslight. Although I know she was nominated, I think she won. But anyway, I get sidetracked into that, and I stop thinking about what it means. Well, I finally found this great definition for it that says that it is telling you things that you know are not true, or convincing you of things that are contrary to what you believe and what you know to be true. And there are people on both sides of the political aisle talking about gaslighting and how that's happening by the other side, that they convince you of what's not true, what you know to not be true. And I got to thinking about that in terms of religion, because that's my field, but in terms of education, my other field, in terms of family, in terms of almost anything you can think of. That there are people who would like to convince us that what we know is true is not. Of course, then that made me wonder, well, how do we know it's not? And it sort of ties back with what we talked about a few days ago about truth. How do you know what's really true anymore? And if you don't know what's true, if you're not anchored in what you know to be true, then you can get gaslit pretty easily. People can come along and convince you because there's a kernel or two of fact in what they are saying. And it convinces us then that, oh, maybe I am wrong about this. And I figured out, I'm sure other people have figured it out sooner, and I'm kind of slow to the party, but I have figured out that that's why conspiracy theories are so prevalent. There's a kernel of truth or two, and then those kernels get manipulated into something that's a message that is entirely the opposite of what I know to be true about anything. I stopped watching it because it was getting too disturbing, but I watched about the first 2 or 3 episodes of a multi-episode series on the inner circle, Hitler's inner circle. And it was fascinating for me because the first couple of episodes were all about how all these different guys, Himmler and Eichmann, all these people ended up with Hitler. And I'm fascinated by that kind of group dynamic, and where is it that philosophy and common purpose figures in, and where is it that depravity for human life figures in, and where is it that people are easily manipulated, and how does that happen? And when they were talking about the development of propaganda, I found that especially fascinating, because I think we run into that in every age. I think that it's the gospel writers in their own way were writing propaganda, because we know it wasn't history as we think of it, and we know that it wasn't meant to be biography as we think of it. It was meant to be, all of the gospels were meant to be speaking one person or one group's truth about Jesus, to explain who he was and why others should believe it. Isn't that the definition of propaganda? So there can be good propaganda and there can be bad propaganda. And there can be, what's the difference between gaslighting someone, getting them to believe something that isn't true about, or that's in conflict with their reality, the difference between that and just good criticism? giving good feedback. So I began thinking, what is the difference between gaslighting and feedback? Like so much of life, I think it comes back to intent. Is your intent to propagandize? Is your intent to proselytize? Is your intent to confuse people and shift their belief system? This is very murky water for me because I believe that there are places where we do that intentionally and it is sanctioned, it is allowed and encouraged in our society. I think our military forces do that with recruits. I come from a military family. My late brother was a proud Marine. That happened when he was in boot camp. It happens in all of our armed forces so that people can be trained to kill and defend and become machine-like in their productivity and their ability to do that. And frankly, as awful as that business is, I am extremely grateful that we have people who are called to defend this country. So this is kind of murky water, and I'm not really sure where it's going, but I want to bring it back to our prayerful pause and thinking of something greater than ourselves. If we are receiving feedback on our lives, or if we are being gaslit about our beliefs, the only way we will ever know is if we really know what we believe. We will only know really we have to know what our truth is about our society, about our faith, about our family, about our dreams, about our country. We have to really know what the truth is that we hold on to. What do we value? What do we prize? What do we incorporate into us? Because only when we know that can we hold on to that with such rock assuredness, rock certainty, that no gaslighting would work. And the way the gaslighting works is like building a conspiracy theory, isn't it? A fact here, a fact there, and drawing to a totally different conclusion. So we have to know our facts. We have to know our facts about us. What do I believe? I believe in the goodness of people. I believe, basically, everybody does the best they can with what they have. If I believe that, then I don't believe people are out to cheat me. Will some people? Yes, and I need to be, cunning as a fox, as it says in the Bible. I need to be aware. I need to be able to figure my own intentions and theirs. But basically, I think that people do the best they can in any given moment with what they have, whether it's what they have in terms of material things or what they have within themselves or what they have energy to give or what they have that they can intellectual, whatever it is, with what they have. People basically do the best that they can with what they have. And if you look at life that way, you cut people a lot of slack. Gaslighting. I think there's a lot of it going on. There's a lot being portrayed to try to tell us what we know to be true is not true, what we believe is not true, and our sense of reality is not true. So I invite you to put everything through that filter. Is this gaslighting? Is what I'm hearing truth? What is my truth? Is it just constructive feedback to me so that I will grow into a better understanding of my values? Is it gaslighting or feedback? It's a lot to think about. Don't let anybody tell you what you believe. Thanks for joining me for this prayerful pause with the pastor. Time to think about something greater than ourselves, and today it's about how people try to persuade us what we know to be true isn't true. You hold on to what you know to be true. I'm Pastor Deb Swift of South Presbyterian Church in Rochester, New York. Thank you for joining me. There's more information about us on the end cap. We hope to see you next time. Hope you have a great day. God bless everybody. Bye for now. Take care.